Hello and welcome to all you bike fans. We're in France and broadcasting from Le Mans, one of the most iconic circuits in the world. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the Motogp class race. It's been a long weekend, but we finally reached the moment everyone's been waiting for. Just a few more minutes and the race will start. The weather is clear and temperatures are far from extreme. However, tyre wear will play a very important factor in today's race. That's why lots of riders have been using medium tyres in the front and rear. Will start from pole position. Everything's ready for a great race.
Previous lap, the six riders behind him are quicker. He's probably going to be okay in fifth. I don't think he's going to get too much worse than that with Alex Marquez in the distant sixth place. 7 to go then here in Barcelona. Does home glory beckon for Viñales, or does the dream double and home glory beckon for Aleix Espargaro? Barring any late disasters, it's going to be, without any question, a 1-2 for the factory of Prancis as Miller and Quartararo. So we're getting a bit frenetic on the brakes into the first corner at the start of this lap 17.
I wonder if Quartararo is also starting to hit some trouble. He was back in the 42s last time around. The trio behind him were all in the 41s as Jack Miller's now forced to defend from Fabio Di Gianantonio, who's still got Augusto Fernandez for company. This is an entertaining battle, isn't it? For 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th place. Marco Bezzecchi is still hanging on ahead of Luca Marini further back. That soft front tyre must be crying enough.
Looks like Viñales has just got the slight upper hand in the first sector. He's able to just eat away at 10-4-2 on Aleix Espargaro in the first split. Maybe a little bit more confidence, a little bit more straight line braking stability on the factory at Puglia, and then he seems to be able to get it turned better as well in the first couple of corners. But clearly it looks like he does have the upper hand, and then Aleix Espargaro really fights back, particularly in the third sector. That's where Aleix seems to be marginally quicker than his teammate. The gap's still sort of stable around that half a second as Miller's KTM slips right, it slips left, and then he manages to drag the apex somehow through turns 10 and 11. Clinging on here for a top 10 is the Aussie.
Now the gap is around half a second or more. Maverick Viñales will feel relatively happy with that until Aleix Espargaro starts to close it even further. Whether Aleix Espargaro is just...
Espargaro, he clicks the Aprilia now into top gear, 355 kilometers an hour. This is where he passed Bagnaia yesterday to win the sprint, and he's on the inside of Maverick Viñales into the first corner. Out to the long lap goes Maverick Viñales. Aleix Espargaro then, he'll see that on his left-hand side. Viñales then comes back onto the circuit. Is that the big key moment of this Catalan Grand Prix? Because for the very first time on course for the Dream Double, Aleix Espargaro leads.
Nothing wrong from my point of view in what Aleix Espargaro did there. He was up the inside and Maverick Viñales just did not want to give the lead up, so tried to hang in there for as long as he could. The problem Viñales has got now is, of course, he wants to try and get back on terms with his teammate Aleix Espargaro, but he did take the shortcut across turns 2 and 3. So, of course, if he doesn't give up a second, he's going to get a one-lap penalty. But if he gives up a second, he can't win the race anymore.
Crikey, look at that front tyre, the graining on the right-hand side of Maverick Viñales' front tyre. That's why he has not been able to resist this pressure building from his teammate Aleix Espargaro. Yeah, Aleix Espargaro just made it fit, didn't he? There was room, he had the inside line, but as Lewis said, Maverick Viñales was just like, well, if you want it, you're going to have to really properly fight it and slug it out, just as Aleix Espargaro did. Through sector 3 now, already in the blink of an eye. Aleix Espargaro nearly 9/10 of a second clear of Viñales. Looking at the state of Viñales' front tyre there, you just wonder whether he's going to think, you know what, it's not worth the risk here. This will make great headlines for Aprilia. It will still be an historic Aprilia 1-2, but surely now with the state of that front tyre. It was mangled, wasn't it? He's not going to be able to have anything in response for Aleix Espargaro.
Yeah, it's over 1 second immediately, so I think we can forget any thoughts of Vinales getting into trouble for that shortcut, not losing enough time. He's 1.1 seconds behind his teammate, who looked a little bit deep himself there, didn't he, into turn 1. We've got 3 laps to go, and for now, Aleix Espargaro, it's about making sure he makes no mistakes. It's making sure that he's got some grip left in his tyres, because we've already seen the state that his teammates are in, and Aleix Espargaro is 3 laps away, and we remind Aleix, it's 3 laps, not 2, away from a momentous victory and finally banishing the ghost of 1 year ago.
You can just imagine now talking to himself inside his helmet, can't you? One Barcelona, first gear, around 65, 75 kilometres an hour. And you can just see here, Aleix Espargaro is making big gains here. We're coming towards the third sector where he's been really strong. And we can see on our split times here, you can see on the top left-hand corner of your screen, it's down to under 0.3 of a second. This is game on. This is Aleix Espargaro, who maybe has just been happy to sit off Maverick Vinales, to not overheat and have front tyre temperature and pressure concerns. And now he's just saved some grip for the vital final stage of this Grand Prix, because he is really now coming on strong late on. Big pressure coming on the shoulders of Vinales.
And we'll find out very shortly whether Aleix Espargaro feels he's got the pace to pass Vinales and try and pull clear, because he won't leave it until the last lap or two if he feels he's got that kind of advantage. Vinales is certainly giving it all he's got with whatever grip he has at the disposal of those Michelin medium tyres as they come onto the start-finish straight. There will be 5 laps to go. Vinales will now start being able to pick up a little bit of slipstream from his teammate up ahead of him. The gap is 1/4 of a second. The Aprilias are now down in the 142s. Just how much grip have they got left? Which of the RSGPs will be on top of the podium in 5 laps' time? It's a straight shootout between the teammates.
Twitch, wasn't there, coming over the crest out of turn 12 for Vinales? Is he just running into some of the inevitable grip problems which you always have to face and contend with here in Barcelona? They come through the high-speed turn 3. That's where you really are abusing and stressing the right-hand side of your rear tyre. And Aleix Espargaro, hand over fist, is just eating up the metres, isn't he, behind Vinales? He might be close to veer to attack down the hill into turn number 5. Don't think he's going to risk it. No, he's got time here. He can be patient. He will feel at this stage of the Grand Prix he's got the better pace, the better grip than Maverick Vinales. He's just got to make sure that he picks the perfect moment to make the pass clean, and then he'll feel that he can break Vinales late on.
Well, the brilliant call, Aleix Espargaro, the captain. He's been so
3 seconds further back up the road. 2 laps to go then here in Barcelona, less than 10 kilometres away from a fairy tale double win. Revenge will be sweet. Redemption is coming for Aleix Espargaro after what happened to him last year when he celebrated too early. He goes in hot though, doesn't he? He's going to be giving those Aprilia crew some nervy moments. I bet his family and friends, they can't watch the screens.
Well, just a quick update on what's going on further back as we take a look at Aleix Espargaro's tyre. That's not really better than Vinales, is it? That looks pretty second-hand, and Aleix Espargaro, therefore, you can understand why into some of the right-handers he's having a little bit of a difficulty turning that Aprilia in. As mentioned, though, further back, Luca Marini has now got the better of his teammate Marco Bezzecchi. They're still running around in 11th and 12th, but it is now Marini ahead of Bezzecchi, who's just probably desperate for the checkered flag to come out and to collect 4 World Championship points.
1 lap and a half to go then. That's all that stands between probably the greatest weekend of his Grand Prix career, without any question. Aleix Espargaro's first World Championship podium was here 12 years ago, back in Moto2 in 2011. He took Suzuki's last pole position here back in 2015, pole here last year before his late blunder. But it's been perfection personified this weekend. He led the way on Friday in both practice sessions, second on the grid. The only block in his cockpit was missing out on pole position against Pecco Bagnaia, as Luca Marini was getting the better of the inter-team battle at Mini VR46. Marco Bezzecchi still somehow battling for that 11th place despite his soft front tyre choice. His hand was forced, of course, after he was caught up in that first corner carnage. But there's 1 lap to go for Aleix Espargaro, and he is keeping it pinned. He's keeping it full throttle. There's no premature celebration, as the history will not repeat itself. As we mentioned then, just 4.6 kilometres standing between Aleix Espargaro and a memorable weekend. And what about the factory?
Let's take a look at the final classification of the Motogp race before the traditional podium ceremony. Cameras take us into Parc Fermé to see the race winner, who is rightly celebrating with his mechanics. If he continues like this, it will be difficult for his rivals to keep up with him. The passion of the Motogp fans is, as always, astounding. Today's result is made even more exhilarating by the size of the crowd for the three riders on the podium right now.